Good morning, South Florida.
And welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe Morning Show.
Grab your coffee as we brew up the talk of the day.
From the latest scoop around town
to feel-good stories and messages of hope.
A few jokes and live calling.
Highlighting local businesses.
Discussing hot trends and news stories.
A dash of feel-good nostalgia.
I love those morning cartoons.
Keeping up with upcoming events.
Sometimes trying and delicious foods.
Weekly horoscope updates.
An occasional flying duck.
Some sparkle dust.
Don't forget my bell.
And my wand.
With our brew crew laughing on set.
So grab your coffee, your bagel, donut, or any breakfast as we get you up and ready for the rest of your day.
And don't leave us hanging. Give us a follow. Comment live or call right into the show at 888-994-4995 Studio B.
Whether it's a tip of the day or just to say good morning, we'd love to hear from you.
From Amp Media Production Studio, it's
the Brooklyn Cafe Morning Show.
Dawn, where's the snooze button?
Freddie, it's time to get up. We got a show to do. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Hang tight, guys. Pressing the snooze one more time.
And it's time to do a show.
Morning time, snooze button.
We good? Mm-hmm. We got black and we got white. There you go.
We're back.
Welcome to the morning show.
Happy Friday.
Shorty on the board.
Can you believe it's Friday already?
Today's Friday?
I know.
No, it's not Friday.
Last day of June.
Just looks like Friday.
Last day of June.
No, it's not.
How did that even happen? I know, one day
tomorrow is the 30th.
Today is
the 31st.
Not June. When you were growing up, remember they would do like 30 days, has September, April, June, and November. Anyone ever learn that?
Yeah. You take your knuckles.
Yes, that's what I learned was your knuckles, right?
January,
right.
February, March, April, May, June.
That's 30.
July has 31.
But we're only in June.
That's right, because
I know. Then they have the 30 days, has September, April, June, and November. Who makes these things up?
They're lore, they're folklores, they're sayings.
But they were.
Probably
when
the
you
pagans.
Think of them.
The pagans probably. All our sayings come from the pagan empire.
I don't know about that.
It's true.
I think it comes from the stars.
Halloween.
Halloween for sure.
Well, that was the pagans.
You know, tomorrow's July. It's already July. I cannot even believe we're halfway through 2023. It's amazing to me.
What I find amazing is today on board we have Shorty doing. He's been here, 2 days?
He has been ready since 9:06 this morning. You weren't even here. He had the medals out, the street was swept, the lights are on, the coffee's brewing, Mark Anthony's on the stereo, board's ready to rock and roll, and I'm trying to call you. Call me. Call me. Impressive, isn't it? Got to get in earlier now.
I'm flabbergasted.
Now you got to get in earlier so we can get out earlier.
Well, I didn't know that we actually ended up going out on time
Pretty
tonight.
nice.
That's pretty impressive.
Anyway, happy Friday, everyone. Happy 4th of July weekend that I think started even earlier this week. I think people kind of started the 4th of July weekend yesterday, Wednesday.
I've been celebrating the 4th of July since January.
Remember a couple years ago we were in COVID and we had our crew in for 4th of July and you got very upset that day.
Why?
Because you asked them what it means to them to be an American.
Here we go.
And you did not like their
Why
answer.
are you bringing that up?
Because we had a whole nother group of crew that you can actually ask that
I
question
should have known
to.
better than to ask that question.
Because if you ask, you got to be prepared.
There was
for the
just one
answer.
kid who
Yes.
gave me an answer that was really negative about the country. He doesn't believe in the red, white, and blue. Doesn't believe in the country. The country was this and that. And I was looking at him saying, "What?" I said, "You live in a country that you're able to say that."
You know, I was talking to Rita the other day, who was in here, and she said, I do a lot of traveling. She said, but there's nothing like coming back to where you live to be grateful for every single bit of our country and our state and our city and our community. She said, the rest of the world is beautiful, and it's great to travel. But to actually know what you come back to, she said, there is no greater feeling in the world than that.
When I went to Greece for 16 days, I was dying to get back home. Dying. And Greece was a great country. It was great people. And they told us you can go in, knock on the door, and they did. The Greeks took us in. They took Americans in. They fed us and everything else. But man, there ain't no place like home.
You and Dorothy.
Mary and Dorothy.
Click your heels 3 times.
There's a couple of things I want to make some announcements this morning on the morning show. I want to let you know that July 21st is the J.C. Dreesen, D-R-I-E-S-E-N show.
Oh, did you spell it wrong?
I did. She got mad at me. But it's J.C. I said, no, I'm just going to call you J.C. She says, no. So the J.C. Dreesen Son is at events.amp2.tv. Get your tickets. We'd like to sell this venue out to promote other venues. We are going to have game plan in the floor, multiple language
interviews.
interviews.
Actually, in this board.
We should. We'll take care of that.
Yep.
We're going to clean up this board today because we got some brainiacs in here this time. Watch
You know
out.
what that means? It means you got to level it up. You thought you leveled up on Wednesday?
Oh, no.
Now you gotta go to
we're
a
going
whole
to
nother
a whole
level.
nother level. So
Whole nother
JC,
level.
JC is one announcement I want to make, and I'm going to keep repeating myself because it takes 7 times for you to hear it. And the other thing is, we are in Atlanta on 91.1 starting Monday
Atlanta Radio, Monday and Wednesdays at 12
and
o'clock.
Wednesday from 12 to 1.
When I first met you, we were in Boston, Atlanta, and New York. Remember that?
I remember.
Now we're back in.
That was
Well, I mean, we're
television.
everywhere, but now
That
we're.
wasn't radio. That was TV.
Oh, was it? Who even knew?
She doesn't know. That was TV, and we're getting back to that because through Atlanta, through this station, they have affiliates all over the country that do that kind of TV. So we are going to pursue that.
You got plans for the weekend?
I do.
I know.
4 days of sleep.
I know.
I am so exhausted that last night
I was
got
worried
home
about you last night. I got to
at
tell you.
9:35. I was sleeping.
Gotta
I
tell
fell
you,
asleep with a cup of coffee, man.
I don't often see you tired
I was
or
tired.
look tired. Last night you looked tired. I think you were sleeping talking to Garcia.
Well, I was sleeping because we have back to back. Did I say back? Meetings.
We had back to back, yeah, and back to back and back. I didn't realize. I felt like the little clown cars where people keep getting out of every door. That's what the studio was like. We had a meeting in here, and I went out that door. Then I went into the theater, and we had a meeting. Then I went into A, and there was another meeting. By the time I got back into the theater, into here, there was another meeting. It's not a big place.
I didn't even get a
I went out
chance
one
to-
door, walked, and this poor guy was
I didn't
here.
get a chance to talk to
for
Bag
an
of
hour and a
Donuts
half.
here because he was waiting patiently. The person that brought him had to leave,
We couldn't believe she left, and you were still here. So
which is
welcome.
great. It's our victory that you did. So grab that mic. Tell us who you are. What is your life?
I am Joe Hopkins. I graduated from Gosford Institute in Michigan. I just moved out to Florida. And yeah, since 2 years ago when I graduated, for 2 years I've been working in gigs up in Michigan, now I'm down in Florida, hopefully to get some union gigs eventually, I don't know.
Do we have union in Florida?
There's no union in Florida.
You like
Really?
union better than non-union?
Wait a minute. Who told you there's a union of Florida?
It's not a big one, but it's like a lot of commercial gigs. It's not-
There's a lot of commercial gigs, but Florida is a no union state. There are groups that say that they are union. We got to be careful with this, but I want to see them just to protect your interests. Because if there is, you just uncovered a whole new world. I was told there is no unions in Florida.
There's some for like sound and camera. not
Really?
For crew.
Wow. And there's another strike in the 10th frame here.
You never know what you're going to learn
Never.
here.
I got to tell you, one of the things we're going to start doing is we have enough brain power in here and camera power in here. We're going to start going remote. We are going to start doing gigs at a business near you. If you have a business, give us a holler. Now is the time to put all the stuff out there for the fall. Let the Northerners know that you're alive. If they can see through the smoke on their TV, and when you come down
Is
in
it
the
still
winter.
smoky up there?
My God. First of all, one of the baseball players in Pittsburgh is mad at the Major League Baseball because he says, you can't see the ball. Can't play like
Is it a
that.
call still coming from Canada?
Yeah, over 300 fires.
Wow.
Which is craziness what's going on out there. But Joey Bag of Donuts is in the house. And we're gonna take it to another level as well.
I got a text from this morning. I'm going to be a little bit late. There's a boot on my car. You're very calm about it, though.
Did you get the boot off or
Let's
you're
get it
driving
on.
around with it?
Not yet. I don't know what's going on with that. I took care of it, so hopefully it's off.
Can you drive with a boot?
No,
No.
I think so.
So
How'd
man,
you get here?
my brother.
okay.
It's a big piece of metal that hangs on the
That's what
side
I
of
was
your
wondering how you
car.
got here so fast.
Yeah.
Nice.
He came prepared with gear. He's going to show off his gear. I'm going to tell you, I'm impressed. We're going to take pictures of all this. We're going to surround that as well. Maybe we even talk to
Maybe
the...
that's what we do for midday. Maybe we get out on the street today for 4th of July.
Why not? Why not take the crew? Maybe we'll take them up to the Louisa Del Rey so they can see what
That
they're
would be
getting
nice.
themselves into.
Maybe we should do that midday instead.
Yeah, maybe.
Good idea.
And the Booker, I may have a job for you, Booker. Would you like a job?
What's the proposal?
Well, I'm going to take you to see it, and then you'll decide whether or not you want it. It pays well, but I don't know if that's what you want to do, but I think he'll be a good candidate.
Anyone seen fireworks this weekend?
On the beach.
She.
On the beach?
I'm
Which
going
one,
to the
Delray?
Opal.
Oh, nice.
I do this every year.
I just asked what you were doing. You told me you were sleeping at the Opal.
I
guess.
am. But no, at the Opal, I'm not. I'm just going to go in, hang out on the beach, shower, and go home.
Oh, nice.
I usually get a room, and they know me already, and then they say, "You want your room?" Yeah, okay.
Nice. You go that often?
Been doing it
They know
8
you and
years in a
Linda?
row. 8 years.
Nice.
Maybe I visit our friends at Luna Rosa, which is on the beach as well. I love going there, and I say, "Hey, how are you?" She comes over, gives me a hug, brings a bottle of champagne. I mean, this is like every year.
Nice. Good
Since
to be-
we've been
it's
at
good to be
iHeart.
the king, isn't it?
7 years since we've been at
It's good to
iHeart.
be you.
It's not the king. We used to go to the pizzeria. We used to know all the restaurants on Atlantic Avenue because our
Wonder if
studio
that
was
hot
right down
dog
the
place
street.
is still there.
Hot dog, hot dog, hot
Remember,
dog.
they just are 1 block away.
Yeah, he's still there.
Check
He's
that
still there.
out.
We should go in there.
Hot dogs for 4th of July.
I can't eat them anymore. You guys like hot dogs?
Yeah, I love hot dogs.
Oh, I'll take you to a place,
yeah, you
man.
love hot dogs. This is what I
I
get.
do
Yeah, I
love-
love hot dogs. This is,
Well, that's
See, here's the beauty
that's
of
him rattling
sound.
his brain.
if your mic wasn't on right now, the yeah, I love hot dogs would be a no. The importance of sound in production. I'm hoping the sound was on that
So you
one.
do like hot dogs, or is no? I don't. Yes, I like hot. What is it? You like hot dogs?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't like hot dogs. I love hot dogs.
Well, there you go.
How do you eat your hot dog?
Ketchup or mustard? Which is it?
Both.
Well, if you had a preference, which is it?
Mustard.
Oh, another one for mustard. We used to have a contest. I won.
Ketchup over mustard?
Yeah, he was. What's his name was mustard.
What are you doing,
Last.
Shorty, for the 4th? There's another mic there.
For me, I'm just probably hanging out with my family. I know my sister usually comes over with her dog and her baby. We usually just hang out in our house.
Are you cooking?
No, my dad usually does. So my mom, they usually cook on the barbecue outside.
You don't do a little barbecue?
I don't know how to use a barbecue, but I know how to use a skillet on the stove. So if they want me to do that, I can do that for them.
I'm gonna bring in a fake barbecue in here and give a class on how to barbecue. My son called me. Freddie says, "Hey, Dad, can you come and show me how
Bringing
to
up
barbecue?"
Joey's little plastic kitchen and cook that way.
Joey's Plastic Kitchen.
If you're going to bring in a fake barbecue, you have to bring in the fake kitchen.
Well, I
plastic
want to
kitchen.
show them how you barbecue. The first thing you got to do is you got to go downwind. Because if you don't go downwind, you can have all this smoke in your face.
Did you hear about the firefighter that, there's a law, I guess not a law, but an option in Florida and around the United States that if you have a baby and the baby is unwanted, you can, no questions asked, bring it to the firehouse and they take the baby in and then they take the baby to the hospital and they do everything they need to do. So this couple in Florida, in Ocala, have been wanting a baby for years and years, 10 years, and infertility issues. And he was in a regular shift for the fire department. 2 o'clock in the morning, he hears the bell ring. That means a baby was dropped off, a newborn. He goes down, he finds this beautiful little baby, he takes it to the hospital and he leaves a note. My wife and I have been trying for 10 years to have a baby. If by any chance we can adopt her, we would love to. And 2 days later, they were able to take this baby home. And they were able to adopt her in April. And they said, by the grace of God, this baby came to them like a miracle. So you know what you always tell me about miracles?
Only happens once.
And they do happen. Is that an amazing story?
It's a bittersweet story, but yeah, it's an amazing story.
But whoever the mom was realized she did not have the capability to care for this child, and instead
Which
of
is the
doing
sad
anything
part.
harm, that was baby. I was gonna like, that's crazy. She brought the baby to the fire department, and now she's in an incredible home, which is an amazing story. And the story we heard yesterday, hopefully we're going to be able to share that a little bit. The other side.
Now, something happened in the news, and I don't know if you're going to want me to bring it up,
I
but
think we have to bring it up.
I think we have to because there's a lot of ramifications and its definition and misunderstandings.
Opinions.
And opinions are all over the place, but it has to do with the Supreme Court Did you guys see or hear anything about what the Supreme Court did yesterday? Affirmative action. They said you cannot use race anymore. You know how they have quotas of black Latinos
For college admission.
for college admission? That cannot be used anymore at the federal level. And you gotta understand that this is at the federal level. And they're telling the states not to do it either. And the question I have is that good, bad, or indifferent? Because I got into a conversation about it. Being a Latino who went to NYU, and I went in on grades, and they took a look at me because I was in Puerto Rico. If I wasn't in Puerto Rico, they would never have taken a look. So, very sensitive about the issue. And does it mean that if you're a minority, you're never going to apply again because you don't think you have a shot at getting in, which is the negative on this ruling? It's not what it says, it's what it's implying to those who are reading it a different way. And that's what I'm upset about, because I did make Harvard, but I only got a half a scholarship, and I didn't go because I couldn't afford the money. And I wasn't about to take loans like a crazy person. And I tried to explain that today, and people are telling me, well, you should be able to get in on your merits. I mean, you guys have good grades, right?
Yeah, but they're all
But none of them are minority.
correct.
But there are people that have good grades and they get in view-wise because they're minority.
There's
why
all
aren't they
different-
but why aren't they looked at on the grades?
There's all different sides. There are people that I know use that to get in, where the theoretically Caucasian, but somewhere in their ancestry there might be a little bit of minority, and they use that leverage to get in. Or on the other hand, then there are those minorities that they're saying, based on experience and grades, you weren't able to have some of the experiences that other races with financial prowess have. So if you go in and you don't have the experiences on your resume because of your financial situation, and they don't look at you fairly, then that's the downside. But the upside is, should you get in just because of your race?
Well, it isn't just because of your race, because when I was in Puerto Rico, I was painting the parking lot for my scholarship. I had to serve summer school in labor of the school because they gave me monies, scholarship money, if I would do work. So I was painting the parking, I was doing the lines, and the school principal came over and says, NYU's on the line, they want to talk to you. Now, who the hell does that? The principal and NYU. So I get on the phone and says, you have to be here tomorrow because we took you in and blah, blah, blah. Now, how did they take me in? My SAT scores were so small that I'm embarrassed to tell you what they were, but they were small. My grades were 4.0 coming out, and I told them, listen, I can't go, I'm working. They said, well, you got to be here if you want the opportunity.
You're also like a child genius like these. You were 16 years old going NYU and Harvard.
But my SATs were horrible. So my uncle, Diesel, may he rest in peace, says to me, he says, Freddie, go. I got you. I said, are you sure? He says, go. And I took a suitcase and I did a red eye and I got there, and the rest is history. But my question here is, I didn't even know about minorities going to college like it is today. I had no clue, no information about how to go to NYU because they were looking to fill quotas for
The case
minorities.
is interesting because they're saying that the schools that they brought the case against,
Harvard and the University of Connecticut,
that it's unconstitutional. I think it was
something in Connecticut.
Carolinas,
Okay.
that it was unconstitutional to admit based on racial diversity. That was the ruling, that it was unconstitutional. And that's where I think it gets funky, because maybe it is, in the Constitution doesn't say you go to college because of your race.
It
But
doesn't say anything
doesn't
about
a private
that.
university
Have the right.
have the right
Yes.
to choose
Yes.
how they admit
But not
their
federally
students.
funded monies.
But a private
here's the
university,
deal.
so that's what I find. I don't know enough about it, so if you know, give us a call, 888-994-4995. If Harvard as a private institution has enough money to say, we are going to admit, based on diversity, because we want an inclusive school, And
They
they're
have a-
not,
should have a
and
right
they're
to
not
do
a
that.
state school,
But they have the right to do that.
like a private business.
They have the
Don't
right
they
to
have
do
the
that.
right to
They
choose
do.
their students based on?
but not giving them Pell and federal monies. Now, when
so
I
that might be the change.
when I worked for Charlie Rangel, he was in charge of the Ways and Means Committee. Charlie Rangel used to write the checks for the country. Pension plans. This is a very powerful man. And Charlie Rangel once taught me, when they do business in Washington, if you want a piece of legislation that's going to pay millions and millions of dollars, they may want a statue built in California to have enough sign-offs on that bill. That statue has nothing to do with the bill, but this is the way they do business in Washington. They negotiate pieces on a bill.
What do you guys think? You didn't hear about it, but what do you think about the over/under on this? Opinions? Do you have friends that are different? I want to say minorities. That's what they're talking about. That got into school, didn't get into school.
Yeah, personally, I just think that people should just look beyond the race and just look at overall performance and see who's best for the school for them. That person has a good history, and, everyone does interviews when you go into college. Like, you always speak to someone, and that person just qualifies, no matter the race, no matter what it is, then that person should be good enough. That's all I have to say to that.
But what if somebody says to you, a minority, I'm a Latino, I say to you, no, I'm not going to apply to that school because they're not going to look anymore. My in was that I was a minority with good grades. Let's keep it all on the same page. And they're not going to look at me. Now, this is my perception, right, wrong, or indifferent. What would you tell a person that way? To apply?
Yeah, I mean, there's no limited amount of colleges you can't apply to, so apply to as many colleges that you want to get into, because remember, you're doing it for you. So that means you got to do your research, do your homework, read the reviews, ask former college students, or even ask people in the college, like, how are things, whatever you're looking for, whether it's diversity or even how the food is, just look into the colleges that you want to get into. So whatever college you do get into is the one on your terms.
Now, we get a lot of kids from Japan and the Asian market, and we get a lot of European as well. I don't think we have enough of us going to schools anymore. And I don't mean me, I mean Americans going to college anymore. The numbers are down. There are
Well, I
more
think there- I think
foreigners than
there's-
anything else.
I think numbers are down to school because of the cost of going to school, because it is so expensive to get into college.
Except for FAU, which is sold out for the next 5
But
years.
it's still, I don't know if any of you guys went to FAU. No, you're
No,
at
they're
Lynn.
at Lynn.
You're at FAU. But as a private school, a public school is probably the best deal you're going to get as a state-funded school.
Now, FAU is a public school? What does it mean? It's not an institutional school?
It's
like
a state.
Harvard or anything?
It's if you live in the state of Florida,
Hmm.
your tuition is less because it's a state school. FAU, USF, UCF,
And if you don't?
same price as going to a private university. If you live out of Florida, FAU's tuition and Lynn, for example, are probably on par.
Really?
Upwards of, well, like University, that becomes a higher price point.
So what are the incentives of going to either Lynn or FAU if I'm in New York City?
You want to go?
No, but I know Georgia, I know the incentive there. They got a good SEC program, there's sports there.
Well, I think there's incentives for all schools, just depending on where you want to go.
So that's what's changed
What
with the
took you to
basketball.
Michigan? Did you live in Michigan?
Yeah, I grew up in Michigan.
So it was a state school?
Yeah.
What school did you go to?
For college, I went to Motion Picture Institute.
That's like a full sale.
Yeah, it's a 1-year program, 12 months. In those 12 months, they teach you everything that you need to know about film. And I
You
got
learned a
lucky.
lot.
Yeah.
Look at the amount of equipment you had in there.
Yeah,
And you invested a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. The money you saved on the other 3 years of college,
He put it in himself.
Yeah.
you put back in yourself, and probably less because it didn't
Yeah.
cost you upwards of $100,000 for that equipment.
Yeah.
But you were able to take that differential and put it towards your career growth, which is an interesting
That's a
concept.
smart move. That's
Right?
like a wedding. Don't have no wedding.
Get a
How
house.
about get the money, keep the money, get a house or something.
Kids are still traveling on their honeymoon.
Yes, and I'm not going to say nothing because they're your kids, but that's a smart investment. That's why Gio told me about going to Full Sail. They have a 2-year program. Gio went for 2 years. And Jeff Santos is one of the reasons that Gio got through it because he took a gig on when he was in school to help him pay for it. And he was very happy. He started to take a couple of loans out, but
It's interesting. So the Supreme Court ruling, they're supposed to rule today on 2 other big rulings. We'll see what happens with that.
Those big rulings are going to be negative. I
Good
already know
morning.
it.
Yeah, because
If
we're
they
having-
couldn't agree on this, why would they agree on anything else? And I'm just talking about
It's
history.
heavily Republican conservative, our Supreme Court
I'm going
right
to tell
now.
you something. I am shocked. And you know what? My output to all of this and to the political agenda has changed completely. I am completely now against what I used to believe in. I'm sorry. Not when it comes to
What do you
this.
mean you're against what you used to believe in? What you used to
I
believe?
used to, I used to believe that some of the people that were in power, I voted for them because I thought that was the right way. But this is just brutally hurtful on so many levels. This is hurting lives. And the perception of what you guys are doing, you don't understand how deep that perception runs, how sensitive these kids are. You've lost touch with reality about what they're going through. You just don't get it. You don't get what it is to be 21, 22, 24 today. You don't understand until it breaks, and then you have craziness going on around you,
When
and
you
you
hear
created that.
craziness on, you don't have Jeff today, so it would be interesting to hear the other side, because I was listening to Brian this morning and his take on it.
He's
on
defended it.
Schiroldi's. Well, that's why it'd be interesting to hear Jeff Santos' side of it.
He defended it, but the funny thing is, they defend things blindly. But-
Just because
But he's not a minority, and he doesn't understand the implication. I'm not saying that the ruling's right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm not talking about that.
I don't think it's a constitutional ruling. I don't think it's a constitutional say. Whether the ruling is right, wrong, or indifferent.
Rose versus Wade wasn't, in my opinion, the Constitution. That's somebody's body. You're
Right,
going
you
to tell
should have the
them.
right to do what you want with your body. 100%.
Now he says, "Well, I'm not going
What
to
do you
support
think?
it."
You know what we're talking about?
How do you feel about it?
No, I don't like it either. That's just them taking away our progression into a more diverse community.
Good morning.
That's all.
It is so hurtful because of the history of it that the implications are going to be that less kids are going to be enthusiastic about applying to universities or other programs because they're not going to understand that you can still do it. So my word is, you know what? Do.
And I think the universities now have a greater calling that you have to get out there and you have to get into those lower socioeconomic environments. You need to go to the Bronx. You need to go to your big pull where you want diversity from, and you got to market and you got to talk to the high schools, and you just like recruiters do for sports. You got to get out and you have to do what you got to do as a university.
Well, if you go down to Miami, it isn't even about socioeconomics. You go to Miami and there's 80% Latino community, and most of them are Cuban. Oh, yeah, I mean, we're 65 miles from Cuba. What do you think we're going to be? But the bottom line here is that there are high-end Cubans, middle-end Cubans, and low-end Cubans. There are Latinos that are high-end, middle-end, everything else. I just don't like the implications that they're saying, the way they're blowing it up. Don't try. Don't even try, because we're not going to give any federal money. The colleges can still do their own thing on their own money, on their own
They're
dime.
going to have to find another way. I got to have faith in our system that they will find another way. But our government has to stop controlling everything.
Well,
about
guess
this
what?
country.
It's about to get worse.
I know. And that's the issue, is our government seems to think they can control everything.
No,
and they
it's
take it out of the hands of the
it's
people.
not even the government. It's this particular
Supreme Court.
Supreme Court. This is turned right
well,
wing.
3 of them were placed by our former
But this
president.
is so freaking right wing. You know, the Supreme Court is supposed to be balanced, but this is so right wing. You already know going in. If you're on the left, you're not gonna. You have to stand no chance. And if you're in the middle, your chances are maybe 70-30, and that's that. It's just not right for a lot of different reasons.
Did you take a look in the studio?
Did
see
you?
The diversity.
Did you see what happened today on the Supreme Court?
You're Latino.
Did you see?
Somewhat, I am.
Okay.
Did you see what the ruling was? The Supreme Court.
The affirmative action?
When
Yeah.
you applied to college, did you put Latino?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, probably. I typically do, yeah.
But you are. Your
Yeah,
mom's.
overrides it.
Your mom's
I don't
from
know.
Columbia.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you feel that that's the reason you got into college, or was it you?
No, I think FAU accepts anyone from Florida, so I just was like, okay.
She's just that chill all the
That's
time.
more the schools actually getting funding when they see, look, we got 3,000 Latinos, 4,000 Mexicanos.
I think schools still want diversity. I really believe that the university system wants a diverse population. Some
I am.
schools more than others, I am sure, but I think Harvard wants a diverse population. I think different schools want diversity because you know what? We're a diverse country.
Yeah, right. Well, the problem is that diversity has a new definition in today's day.
We should be about inclusion. Anyway, you want to take a commercial break? Change the subject up a little bit?
Yeah, I knew
Play
you were
some
going to
music
say
with
that.
J.C. Dreesen?
I knew you were going to say that.
More to come. Give us a call, 888-994-4995, Studio B. Let us know how you're celebrating the 4th of July, this great country that we live in.
So today we are at Sloan and Meisner's Park for our new series, Malt Madness, where we but you will see our first reaction to these from this very special shop that most people like to say is probably the best in Boca. So I guess we'll be the judge of that.
Alright, so here we are. We're going to try our shakes.
That is really good. Like probably one of the best I've ever had. And I've had a lot of them, so that's not coming lightly for me.
Very good shake. And like, it has very delicious ingredients and it's also refreshing too. It has a good balance of thickness.
And I feel like a lot of places put too much of one thing, but they have the balance, like you said, like really nice. It's not too diluted, it's not overweight.
I would give it a 9.2 out of 10.
Then I'm
Which is
gonna
very
outdo
high.
you. Then I'm gonna give it a 9.3. But what would make it like perfect for you to get it to a 10?
I have to say, well, I mean, you can never reach perfection, but
Oh, you can reach perfection if you try hard enough.
more thickness. But
Yeah.
again, it's very unique in its way. Like, it's very good how it is. So I really enjoy it.
Yeah, the thickness would make it perfect for me too. I like them really thick, like the thicker the better. So I think it needs like between 2 and 5% more thickness and it would be absolutely perfect. Yeah, but if you wanted to see just exactly what we are trying, come down to Meisner Park in Boca, remember the name Sloan's, and you will taste just how amazing these really are.
At the Plaza, right? Plaza at Meisner Park. Thank you, and we'll see you at the next review.
The easiest way to sell your home is to call the number on your screen right now. We'll buy any home in any condition. And the more it's worth, the more you can get. Plus, no real estate fees or commissions means more money in your pocket. And no fix-up costs either. Sell any home in any condition, sometimes within days. Sell your home fast. Call right now for absolutely free information. Don't call a plumber, don't call an electrician. Call right now and for as low as $1 a day. Many things that run your house are covered with thousands of technicians all over America. You can call us with a plumbing problem, an electrical problem, and we'll be in your home in no time at all with a solution to fix it. You don't need an expensive repair bill and you don't need to buy new expensive appliances. We'll show you how to fix it for about $1 a day.
If you have diabetes, would you like to eliminate painful finger sticks? Are you injecting insulin multiple times per day? Then you may qualify for a continuous glucose monitor. CGMs monitor blood sugar using a small patch placed on your upper arm or abdomen, and they use your smartphone to accurately monitor your blood sugar levels. Stop pricking and start scanning. Plus, CGMs are covered by Medicare and most private insurance plans. They can be shipped free of charge to your door. Call today to see if you qualify.
Nobody likes to prick their fingers. If you are a diabetic using insulin like many of us, the worst part of your day is sticking your fingers to draw blood. Now you don't have to do it anymore. You can get a new continuous glucose monitor. As long as you check your blood sugar and inject insulin, it may be covered by your insurance. Call us and we'll let you know if you are covered, and send one at little or no cost to you with free shipping. Stop freaking your fingers. Call right now for your new continuous glucose monitor.
Introducing the Price is Right Home Sweepstakes. You could win the same kind of cash and prizes you see on the TV show. Just call this number right now. And when you call, ask about these amazing offers from our sponsors. Low Cost Airlines offers fares too low to advertise that you can't find anywhere else. You can save hundreds on your next flight with Low Cost Airlines. US Med is your one-stop resource for diabetic supplies. And if you have Medicare, you could get them at little to no out-of-pocket cost. US Med. MedGuard Alert's unique medical technology provides immediate help to seniors with the touch of one button. And you could get your device for free. MedGuard Alert. The United Breast Cancer Foundation can use the donation of your old car, truck, or van to help those fighting breast cancer. Pickup is free and you'll get a tax exemption. Call now to enter the Price is Right Home Sweepstakes. Win thousands in cash and prizes and learn more about these great offers.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Donna, what'd you call me here for?
I just want you to tell me why. You know, what's wrong? What did I do wrong? Just tell me why.
And we're back. I haven't seen that song in a long
Donna
time.
Allen, oldie but a goodie.
I know.
It's very quiet. You can definitely tell the difference in summer, can't you?
No.
Just when you think you can't, you can. Summer is
I don't get any of that.
what?
To me,
Summer?
it sounds all the
Everyone's
same.
going away. You're going away, aren't you?
What are you doing?
Huh?
Where are you going?
I'm going to St. Pete. I'm going up there Sunday. Huh?
St. Pete.
St. Pete.
Is she going with you?
No, she doesn't want to go.
Why?
We did his entire family.
So what?
It's been 2.5 months. I'm not meeting the family at 2.5 months.
You're meeting the family. You're hanging out with him.
I know I'm gonna meet his entire family if I do that.
Who's the entire family?
All of my mom's side's up there. They all live in Tampa, so they're going to be up there. And then my stepdad, Mark, he has his kids going up there as well, too.
You should go. It's fun. Are you doing something with your family?
Yeah. Hanging out.
Sleeping in, hanging out.
You know, it's interesting when you go meet his family because it tells a lot about how he behaves in front of them. So,
Oh,
you
I
got.
guess I don't want to meet them, huh?
No, you want to. You want to see the real Josh. Because you know how guys are. They sort of like to hang out with the girls and they.
So what do you do with your dog when you go away?
He goes to a doggy daycare.
They take it in that.
Monster?
Wow, it's not like taking in a little poodle.
Yeah.
Do they do cats too or just dogs?
They do cats. The one we take him to is called Ohana Pet Resort, but they're all booked up for this weekend. So we got him going to a new place. And I told them beforehand that he's not good with other animals, but he's good with human beings. But they said that they always do like this little test. So we'll see what happens.
So he's about to have a snack.
It's making me a little nervous for this dog of yours. For
What?
the other dogs, I should say.
I'm really curious. So you're not going to go? There's no change in your mind?
No.
Well, you're scared?
Yeah. It's 2.5 months. I'm not like.
So
maybe
if it was 2 years, it'd be
Oh,
easier?
yeah.
Maybe in 2 years it won't happen.
I mean, 2 years is good. He says minimum I have to be within 1 year, so.
To meet the family?
I'm in a contract right now.
Have you met her family?
Just her mom, that's about it.
And my grandma. Like, he met my grandma first.
Abuelita.
Abuelita.
Grandmas are tougher than moms.
Oh no, she doesn't speak English. So.
She speaks Spanish?
Yeah.
I was talking to her, but she wasn't.
I was
Literally-
talking to her. I was talking to
No.
Yeah.
How long were you with Michelle before you met her family? Or Susan?
Susan, I met right away because her mother loved me. Michelle's mother, I met at a bowling alley before I met Michelle. And she used to come in every Friday night to bowl and
Moms
hang
love
out.
you, right?
She loved me. I mean, she loved me. We had the greatest relationship in the world. We used to talk to her friends. They used to talk to mine. We used to hang out. And then I met her daughter. And I said, she's your daughter? And then she didn't like me. You're what? Dating my daughter? She says, no, I'm not.
But look at what you got.
What do you
2
got?
great kids, 4 amazing grandchildren.
Divorce?
Yeah, but you still got 2 great kids and 4 incredible grandchildren.
you
you got
know.
Doorknob. Doorknob's gonna be 18 before you see
You
her.
always throw that at me. How all the good
Because you
stuff.
know what? Even on the bad stuff, there's always something good.
Michelle's mother and I got along. You know, it was what it was.
And
She
you were
was a
close with
very
Joe.
demanding. Joe was like my second father. But Michelle's dad was what she was, and I always did real well with moms. I always wanted to meet them because I wanted to show them that no matter what happened with their daughters, I was always going
you
to
noticed
be.
the plural of the daughters.
Well, can't say that didn't happen either, but
Well, I didn't mean that.
you got to find the sweet
I've
apple.
always been good with the moms. The dads, I don't know. I've never had the interaction with someone else's dad. Because my first girlfriend, her dad was straight from Cuba, did not speak a lick of English. The other one after that didn't have a dad, so I don't know what to do with that.
I remember when Aaron had to, when he and Ashley were dating, her dad had this whole, and we knew the conversation was coming. Remember I talked to you about what are your intentions? It was Christmas with my daughter. When are you going to get engaged? And that's got to be the hardest conversation to have.
That's a Cuban front.
Yep.
Tough. It's funny. My kids never introduced their wives to me in that direction. Not Gio or Freddie. They just said, "We're getting married. You want to come to the wedding?" They didn't do any of that old school stuff.
They didn't go to the girls. They didn't go to. Freddie didn't go to Valerie's dad. And
Oh, I'm
say
sure he
anything.
did.
That's what I meant.
I'm sure he did. I don't
But
know.
it's different when it's the other way.
Okay.
The girl doesn't come to.
See, God never gave me a daughter because
Now you got a granddaughter.
I
Wait
would,
till you
I would
see
be
how
like
that
my
goes.
uncles.
Now you
They
got
would have
doorknob.
like guns and weapons and bottles
Any of
of
you guys
rum.
have girlfriends?
Used to.
Never had. So you never had to meet the family
Shorty has a girlfriend.
once.
They like you?
Well, it was my ex-girlfriend. But,
And that ended quickly.
yeah. But, yeah, she was very nice. Her mom was very nice. She said she liked me a lot. She said we're very similar. So, yeah, that was about it.
Your mom likes him?
Yeah.
Would you tell me if she didn't?
Yeah, I would.
Her? She's honest.
No, but
She likes him?
yeah, she likes his vibes, I guess.
That's good.
He's chill.
Yeah.
It's Friday again.
Plus, they both like spiritual stuff. Like I said, my mom likes, you know, saging, like tarot and stuff, and
So she'd like G-Man too.
yeah, yeah, you ain't special.
Kind of the same.
Oh.
Josh or G-Man. You know that goes.
No, Josh and Garcia is the
Oh.
funniest thing.
She did read his tarot.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, your tarot. How'd that go? Yeah.
It was good.
What did it say?
I'm gonna have, the only thing I got out of it is I'm gonna have good wealth. That's all I care about.
That's all you care about? Nothing
Not
about
really,
children?
That's not all I care about. As long as my career is gonna be fine, then I know I'll be fine.
Any children in your future or anything like that?
She didn't go that specific.
Well, you couldn't because, you know, he's
I
dating
would.
Nicole. So what you going to do? That's
You're
like
going to have 12 children.
that's a whole different conversation. For a
Look
whole
at her
other
face.
thing.
I gotta go.
That would have been the best way to say, you're going to have 12 children. Mm.
It's a whole nother thing. You know, when you're young, you think about it. Can my body do this? What's it going to be? Raising kids. And then you're on the other side of it and you look back and you're like, wow, I really did that?
If you said somebody who does cards or something, they're reading your future leaves. This happened to me reading tea leaves. And you're there with your significant other. And the person says something like, oh, he's going to have 12 children. They don't tell you it's with you. They don't say you're going to have
Right.
12 with you. They say they're going to have 12 children. How would you feel? How would you feel if she says something like that or he says something like that and you're sitting there and she's talking to him, to Chuck? What would you have done? Get up and walk out?
I don't know. Someone, they told me I was going to have 3, a girl and 2 boys. I have 2. I did have a poodle. He was a boy, so I guess that counts. I didn't have to give birth to Nemo, but, you know, that was my other boy in my house.
I was told that I would spend the rest of my life in Italy with someone. And I said to them, is it Michelle? And she looked at me, she said, just like that. She said, no. I said, what? I was told by 3 people.
Really?
That's why I don't ask anymore. And I didn't ask the second one. You know, you ever read coffee or tea leaves in a glass?
Yeah, and then when it stands up, you have to look.
Yep. And you have to
Really?
turn it over to heat it up and stuff like that. And then it melts in there and then they look at it. And
You've done that?
Like that. No, I've seen it, but like I just seen like standing up tea leaves means good luck. Like if you see the stem, then it means like oh you'll have good luck. But that's all I've seen about it.
no, they take these leaves, they put it in there and they put it over a fire. So Juji one day calls me, he says, you know, your father, I read his leaves and he's going to get very sick. And my father got a cold. He had a cold. And I said to him, do me a favor, don't call me anymore.
Because you get a little nervous, right?
Of course. I mean, if somebody reads your tea leaves and they tell you, don't drive your car, you're about to have an accident, all of a sudden you're like, what?
I know. It's one of the self-fulfilling prophecy things.
That's why I tell you, chill out sometimes when you have Frank in the house and Sally in the house. Just chill out, because things come through and all of a sudden you may not like what you're hearing. Like 12 children.
12 children, I don't know. All right, you want to wrap up the morning show?
We wrap it up.
See what we got going on for this 4th of July weekend. Stay safe, everyone. Fireworks. Be careful of your kids. Do not drink and drive. Get a DD, get an Uber, get a Lyft. I'm sure there are a lot of places that are giving free rides for the weekend, so just be safe, and we'll see you in a little bit.
And Confucius say, do not hold an ash can in your hand.
An ash
Don't
can?
pull a Jason Pierre-Paul.
What's an
You
ash
know what
can?
an ash can is?
Uh-uh.
You guys know what ash cans are, right? Those little quarter stick of dynamites.
Oh,
M80s.
Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yep.
The
Lost 2 fingers. You don't hold an ash can or an M80 in your hand. Those are instruments that you leave on the ground or somewhere else.
Just go out and watch fireworks that are safe. Have a good morning, everyone, and we'll see you in a little bit. Midday show.
What she said. Don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Brooklyn Cafe Morning Show. My mug is empty, and you know what that means.
I think it means it's time for a coffee refill.
as we prepare for other shows here at the Amp Media Production Studios.
Tune in for more fun and laughs at 12 o'clock for our afternoon show.
And remember to like, follow, and subscribe on our page.
Have a great morning, everyone. Stay safe and be kind to each other.
And don't be late.